In today's video, we're going to see what happens if we extract the ink from 1,000 glitter gel pens. Guys, we've done a couple of videos where we took the ink out of 1,000 ballpoint pens and played around with that ink to really get a look at it in a very large quantity. Well, in one of those videos, we had a comment asking, what about gel pen ink? I thought that was a really interesting idea because gel pen ink is not going to be the same as your typical black ballpoint pen ink. So we got our hands on 1,000 glitter gel pens and we're going to take the ink out of all of them. The idea here is simple. We're going to take the ink out of 1,000 glitter gel pens and really examine it. What's it look like, feel like, what happens when we heat it up, freeze it, or depressurize it? So check this out. This box comes with 180 different colors of pens. Not only does it come with 180 colors of pens, it comes with a refill for each of those 180 colors of pens. So that's 360 gel ink cartridges, and we got 3 of those boxes. That's going to take us to over 1,000 of them. We're going to drain all of them. We're going to separate them out a little bit by color, then we're going to try mixing together. Just really take a look at what this stuff looks like. Should be a lot of fun. Rather than just mix all of the ink together at first, I do want to kind of separate it out so we can see some of the cool colors in it. However, we do have 180 different colors. So what I'm going to do is sort of separate them out by their general color. So I'm going to go red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, then we have pink. And then I'm gonna have sort of a neutrals one that's gonna be our whites, our grays, our browns, and our blacks. And that one might look a little muddy, but they don't go too well with any of the other colors. Now, I did some experimenting with the best ways to get the ink out of the pen tubes. One of the first things I tried was actually just blowing through to see if I could get the ink out like that, and it does work, but it leaves behind enough residue that I don't think it's the best way. Same as last time, I found that using one of these little metal rods as a plunger gets more ink out than blowing into it does. $1,000 pens. Actually, a little bit over 1,000 pens because each box had 360 pens in it. We had 3 of those boxes. That's 1,080. I might have misplaced 1 or 2 pens, but approximately 1,080 pens. That's a lot. This is the ink you get out of 1 pen's worth. I've got 1 blue pen's worth and 1 pink pen's worth right here. Lovely colors. That is a lot of colored ink right there. Holy cow. Our neutrals is really just sort of like IDK. I didn't know what that was at the time. With the little tubes, it's often really hard to tell what color it is. So I've definitely got some in here that should have maybe been in the yellow or the orange or even the purple. But yeah, you just get a little tube and you're like, is that brown or is that yellow? Tan and yellow look fairly similar. Like a burgundy is just gonna look black a lot of the time. I'm not sure how I ended up with a light purple one in there, but I did. But at any rate, that's our assorted mixes. And then we've got all these other colors, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and a pink one because there were a lot of pink pens in that batch. These look amazing. All right, I've got here our cup of neutral / miscellaneous colors. I'm gonna start by stirring this all up and just seeing what color I get. I'm gonna use my finger. Go. Sort of a slightly purplish gunmetal kind of color. That actually looks pretty cool. I thought it was going to end up being something really ugly, and while I'm not saying I want everything I own to be painted this color, it is kind of neat. It's a little bit slippery. This is definitely way thinner than the other pen ink as well. The other pen ink was like almost gelatinous. It had about the consistency of corn syrup. This is way thinner than that. It flows a lot more. The other ballpoint pen ink bubbled really nicely. In fact, that was one of my favorite things we did with it, was just blowing bubbles into it and watching them grow out and burst. And this, like I said, is a thinner liquid, so I kind of doubt it's going to bubble quite as much, but we're going to find out. Yeah, definitely not getting the same type of bubbles. These are much smaller and they don't hang around as long. All right, so I was doing that just to see blowing those bubbles and having it pop seems to make some of the metallic glitter sort of rise up out of the liquid. So I've now got like a ring around where I was blowing the bubbles of just what looks like the glitter or aluminum dust or whatever it is they put in these pens to really get them to shine the way they do.
There we go. Oh. So we've actually put one of our cameras, the RX100, inside on top of the glass, looking straight down at the ink. The bubbles seem to be pretty small and pop pretty easily, but once this gets down to really low pressure, it definitely does foam up a lot. And it was coming very, very close to hitting the lens of our camera, which we don't want. So I'm turning the pump on and off to try and get the air pulled out of the ink, but not have it hit the lens of our camera. I may be pushing it a little too far. That's sort of our homogeneous green color. It's what happens when all of the different shades of green get mixed together. Moving on in the natural progression of our experimentation, we've now got liquid nitrogen. We're gonna try dripping some of our ink down into the liquid nitrogen. Formed quite nicely into a little sphere. I like that. It's bubbling a lot. We've got some cool colored swirls, but then we've also got these clear spots that, I don't know, maybe the gel and the pigment separate from each other in the extreme cold. I think now it's time to see what happens if we take this ink and heat it up. That looks cool. First, I'm actually just gonna take a little bit of it, see if it seems to be flammable. Doesn't really keep burning, so it's possible that if we get all of it really hot, it will light on fire, but for the most part, just a little bit of flame isn't doing too much. So let's see what happens if we just put this all on the stove. One of the things I definitely think will happen, a lot of these viscous liquids that we've tried heating up, they get a lot runnier, and I'm curious to see if that'll happen with this ink as well. Definitely getting thinner as it heats up. It's now up to almost 160 degrees Fahrenheit. I see some of the silvery bits, the glitter, like joining up in some spots. I see some tiny little bits where it almost looks like the metal has pooled together. The temperature of the bottom, where it's actually in contact with the pan, may easily be higher. Thought that would have a much stronger smell, but it's really quite mild still. So right here from this angle, you can really see what I was talking about. The pigmentation and the metallic dust that's inside these glitter gel pens are separating apart. And here you can really see all of the reflections coming off of the metallic portions. This yellow has just like the tiniest bit of greenish brown to it, and really not a very pleasant color in my opinion. We've also definitely evaporated some liquid out of the ink because now as it's cooling down, it's much thicker. This has almost gotten to a paste consistency.
Well, it might seem a little bit destructive, but I am just too darn curious. I gotta see what happens if I mix all of the colors together. Of course, we don't have quite the same ratio because our yellow did get burned too much in the stove to stir in. We may have lost little bits of the pink when we were freezing it. Some of the green might not have scraped out of the container, so it won't be a 100% perfect representation, but I think it's gonna be close. Remarkably similar to the color we got just blending the neutrals together. Here we have it, the average color of 1,000 pens, which is really the same as an average color of 180 different colors all mixed together. It's just a lot more of it. Vicky, thank you for your suggestion. Guys, if you've got any cool ideas for us to try, let us know down in the comments. Guys, you know that's not all. We've always got more for you to see. That box up at the top is going to take you to our last video. You should go check that out. The other box is going to show you what YouTube thinks you should be watching next. And you see this bomb here in the middle, you hit that, you'll be subscribed to the channel. That way you never miss a cool video. Don't forget to ring the bell, and we'll see you in the next one. Talk to you then.